The name of Adrian Batten is well known to most church musicians. A small number of his short four-part anthems have been regularly sung in Anglican churches and cathedrals since their composition in the early 17th century. Although a few more of his church works entered the repertoire in the 20th century, it is not generally known that Batten was, with the exception of Tomkins, the most prolific composer of sacred music in England in the early 17th century. And among his surviving works are services and anthems of high quality and distinct originality, which deserve to be better known. Adrian was born in the cathedral city of Salisbury, and his baptism on the 1st of March 1590 was recorded in the parish registers of St. Thomas's Church. The Batten family must have lived within the confines of the city, for the baptisms of his 3 brothers are also recorded in the registers here.
Unfortunately, we know precious little else about Adrian Batten's early life. He must, however, have shown considerable early musical promise, for we think that around the age of 7 or 8, he left his hometown to become a chorister in Winchester Cathedral. Winchester was an important centre for church music in the final years of the reign of Elizabeth I. The cathedral organist at the time was John Holmes, a gifted composer and teacher who numbered among his pupils the young Adrian Batten. Graffiti were not unknown in the 17th century, and Batten inscribed his name close to Bishop Gardiner's tomb in 1608, when he was 17 years of age. What happened to Adrian during the next 8 years is a mystery, but he must have relocated to London in order to further his musical career.
Batten's talent must have been noticed in the highest musical circles, for by 1614 he was serving as a lay vicar in Westminster Abbey. The musicians employed there were men of considerable ability. He was in daily contact with composers Edmund Hooper and Orlando Gibbons, and his surviving anthems from the period show their influence. He also served as the chief music copyist at the Abbey, and as a result got to know much of the new music being written by the likes of Thomas Wilkes and Thomas Tomkins. Batten's life at this time was a mixture of musical success and personal tragedy. The registers of St. Margaret's, Westminster, show the births and deaths of 2 of his children, both of whom passed away before their 4th birthday.
During the final years of his period of service at the Abbey, Batten wrote music of some complexity, using vocal scoring usually associated with works written for the Chapel Royal. If his aim had been to secure a permanent place there, he was ultimately unsuccessful. However, he may well have occasionally deputised at the Royal Chapel as a gentleman extraordinary, and his name appears as one of the singers who performed at the funeral of James I in 1625.
Sometime around 1626, Batten took up a position at St. Paul's Cathedral. Not the present building, but its predecessor, which was utterly destroyed in the Great Fire of London.
During this time, St. Paul's was a centre of high church activity, whose proponents, led by William Laud, Archbishop of Canterbury, moved the emphasis of church services towards a more ritualised form of worship. The ceremonial element of Anglican services there was given more prominence, and consequently the role of music became more important. The dean at this time was the poet John Donne, and Batten shared the duties of organist with John Tomkins, the younger brother of the Welsh-born composer Thomas Tomkins.
Another of Batten's colleagues at St. Paul's was the minor canon John Barnard, whose famous collection of church music, published in 1641, contains many of Batten's best anthems. It seems that Batten's music copying activities continued throughout his life, and an organ book written by him has survived. It consists of over 1,000 pages of closely written organ accompaniments and is the largest church music manuscript of the early 17th century.
Members of the research team here at Bangor University have already transcribed and edited all of Adrian Batten's works for performance, and a number of these have been published by Cathedral Press. One of these editions in particular has proved to be enduringly popular, with over 1,000 copies of Batten's first verse service being sold since its first publication. The press intends to publish many more of Adrian Batten's anthems and service music. Do check out the sections on our website. We do hope that our short film has encouraged you to further explore the music of Adrian Batten, whose music is so well suited to the Anglican liturgy and deserves to be heard far more often in choirs and places where they sing.